Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick is arguably the most off-the-rails Republican in Texas, and trust me, that is saying something. At different points during his time in the state legislature, Patrick has gone after trans kids, gay rights, women's reproductive rights, voting rights, and of course claimed with certainty that the election was stolen from Trump with, of course, not a single shred of evidence. Now, the same Mr. Patrick has turned his attention to another culture war flashpoint that reeks of someone trying to solve a self-created problem. Patrick has unveiled a plan to get rid of tenure from all Texas public colleges and universities and revoke tenure for anyone who teaches critical race theory. Now, I'll get to the second point in a minute because it exposes Patrick's real agenda, but first, to the broader issue of tenure. According to U.S. News, our higher education is the envy of the world. 15 of the top 20 universities are in America, and 5 of them, by the way, public. By every metric, we churn out the greatest achievers, and more than 1 million students from outside the country come here to learn every single year. What Patrick would do, if successful, is nothing short of upending higher ed in America. Patrick's only ambition here is to score political points and generate headlines with his base by attacking ideas he, and ergo they, don't like. Without tenure, academic freedom gets undermined. It's not just class discussions that would suffer chilling consequences. How about research? The majority of landmark studies come from higher ed. What kind of political pressures do you think a public institution relying on state support would get if they published data on, let's just say, the impacts of voter ID? Don't you think schools would think twice, particularly in red states, if professors did research that wasn't favorable to the party in power? Truth would take a beating at the very place it's supposed to be most celebrated. Also, college educators, particularly the published ones, are some of the brightest folks around who could make a heck of a lot more in the private sector. Tenure is one of the enticements that keeps them on campuses. But the most obvious tell about Patrick's real agenda is a critical race theory nonsense. First off, I defy you to find a college class syllabus anywhere that has it in it. The thing's a red herring. No, what this is really about is that Patrick wants it to be a fireable offense if a teacher says anything that might upset a certain white kid. Slavery, genocide of Native Americans, Japanese internment camps, you get the drift here. Colleges talking about historical realities would be taking a risk. Is that what we're coming to? Banning books and now banning discussions for young adults on college campuses? Now, I know everything is supposedly bigger in Texas, but in Mr. Patrick's case, decency and common sense aren't among them.